here we go. Hello world, SirLaurenceNZ here, and today I'm casting another game between TheVIper and MBL. Once again, this is actually another game because this is the second one that I've casted, so it makes a lot more sense now for me to be saying that. But nonetheless, let's have a look at these guys' maps here. So, to the north of the Viper's base here, we have a nice solid backwood here, and sadly it is open here, so that's definitely going to be a nice back route for MBL to be doing any aggression from. Anyways, besides that, we have a very open side back of the base here. Pardon me. And we have two nice back stones. Once again, that whole back area though is quite open. Anyway, let's have a look at the other resources of the Viper here, as there is no other wood really close to him, so you know what? It's that time. It's math time. Okay, we have to do some Pythagoras live on camera here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry. So I think it was 6 and 3. So let's have a look here. 6 squared. Let's go for 4 squared here. And Pythagoras says yes. Towers here will be very effective. So if MBL puts up some towers here, this could be a very strong move from MBL. Could definitely get Viper into a very awkward position here. As you can see, this wood way out to the side, that is so blatantly open. MBL could literally just close the game in the feudal age with that kind of wood line. And same here on the right here as well. So far from the TC. Yes, indeed, 11 Dr. Slow. But anyway, let's have a look at the golds here besides these atrocious wood lines from the Viper. So we have a fully saturatable main gold, that's plus. A second, oh, also it's front. A secondary gold down the bottom of the hill, not so nice, but it's saturatable, and a tertiary gold and a horrible position from the Viper. GG map generation. Anyway, let's go to the other side of the map and have a look at MBL's base. So MBL with a solid backwood line and a solid secondary wood line. Incredibly important. Viper not having that. But yeah, MBL having 2 actual wood lines could even take this one. But similar scenario with these ones for the Viper. But honestly, MBL, even his 3rd wood line is better than the Viper's 2nd and 3rd combined. Even though it's smaller. Well, yeah. But anyway, let's have a look at the resources from MBL. So we have a nice kind of back gold here. It's going to be very closed off from the trees here. Going to be very safe here. We might see a tower coming up there, but I have a feeling that MBL is going to be walling off this direction. We did see the wood lines coming up on the left here, so that is going to leave it more open than it should be, which is rather unfortunate. But still, fully saturatable. Definitely a big plus for MBL. And let's have a look for that secondary gold. That secondary gold is in an absolutely atrocious position, as it always is. Over yonder, the other side of the hills, is MBL's 2nd gold, where the Viper can literally just clean it up whenever he likes, just by putting a tower there. It would be the most annoying thing for MBL, but anyway, nothing compared to these 2 wood lines. Because I would literally just resign and quit in the first 5 minutes if I was the Viper here, with that wood line. But anyway, MBL with these 2 front stones as well, we definitely could see some towers coming up from the Viper. Also worth saying though, with the Viper's wood line being such a horrible position here, the stone being at the back is actually quite a strong thing, because sending villagers forward and then taking your opponent's stone is kind of... It's the more normal thing to do, and it's a lot more effective to be doing it that way. MBL though, being the turtle here, and oops, I forgot to turn on spec dashboard. Being the clumsy guy that I am. And it looks like we have the Viper moving up with some Ford's wolves. well, sorry, some 4 wolves, as he brings in 2 wolves in towards the Viper's economy. Will these wolves be able to wreak havoc onto the Viper's villagers here? Find out in the next 30 seconds, as the spearman from MBL is sure to die as he 1v1s the spear of the Viper, and the wolves then attack the villagers of the Viper, and this is extremely underwhelming, and nothing happened. But anyway, let's have a look at the scouts of these guys here, as we have 4 scouts from the Viper and 3 scouts from MBL, and the Viper picking off one of those scouts, going to be in a very nice, advantageous position for the Viper though. Well, for the Viper. However, MBL putting out plenty and plenty of preemptive spearmen, going to be able to deal with these scouts very easily, and the Viper, thinking that it's open over here, going to be catching MBL off guard though, taking a quick turn, and fine then, do that if you like, Viper, do that if you like, just lose a scout there. But yeah, anyway, the Viper with a, I'd say, yeah, Viper with a scout advantage, but MBL with a significant spear advantage. Also, let's have a look at these guys scouting here, because you can see quite a difference in score here. I'd say the Viper scouting is slightly better. Also, the Viper engaging these spearmen here. Wait, sorry. The Viper bringing in his own spearmen, my bad. So anyway, good fight from the Viper there, as he is preparing to move up on a counter-offensive, but MBL regrouping his scouts, going to now have a military advantage, as the Viper transfers into archers. We can also see the imminent change into archers from MBL, as he chucks up his own archery range. Anyway, MBL moving back, as the Viper going to be 1v1ing that spear. Wait, sorry. Yeah, the Viper 1v1ing that spear from MBL, going to be coming out on top as he fights from up on the hill, and then the guy falls uphill, and yeah. But anyways, the Viper going to be moving back to defend his base from the scouts of MBL, as MBL takes a very nice raid onto the Viper's economy, killing 1 villager, and the spears coming in to kill 1 or 2 scouts of MBL. So anyway, MBL getting a nice villager pick there, however losing kind of a bit too many scouts to be able to justify that raid, really. Anyway, the Viper moving in with these scouts here, as he clicks up to the castle age on pretty much equal military and fairly similar technology. So let's just see how this this villager lead from MBL pans out, and you can see there is a 5 villager lead, even though the Viper has fallen 1 or 2 behind from going up to the castle age. So MBL definitely has been taking some nice picks on the Viper's economy here, but the Viper luring MBL into his archers there, going to be a very nice play from him, as Viper not quite losing that villager there, and Viper getting some nice micro in here, going to be focusing down those scouts. Let's see if he hops onto that hill quickly there. Not quite going to be doing that, but he did have a spear in there, which could have done some serious work if it had actually been attacking. Anyway, the Viper getting up to 4 ranges, so going to be pumping out cavalry archers from 4 ranges, as he has already gotten, he has not gotten bloodlines, but the Viper going to be getting crossbows so that he can help clean up this army here and start to move out on a counter-offensive to level out this 13 villager lead from MBL here. Anyways, MBL moving into the woodline. It sounds like my parents just got home, so I may need to pause the stream briefly. So anyway, MBL going to be doing some nice damage onto these villagers here, but not killing any of them. Anyways, the Viper moving up with these scouts, once again going to be moving forwards towards the Vipers. Well, sorry, going to be moving forwards towards MBL's base. Viper with these crossbows though, and that take advantage, going to be able to take some very nice fights here for the next minute and a half, 2 minutes, like including all of the time it takes for the text to come in. So the Viper definitely could come in here, clean up some army, and start to do some damage onto MBL's economy, but if not, MBL going to be in a very nice strong position. But you can see that idle time from the TC here going to be pretty much leveling out the game here, and the Viper already getting those ticks and going to be in a very nice position. But MBL being a complete turtle here, putting up dozens and dozens of palisade walls here, going to be delaying the Viper wherever possible, but MBL going to be getting back into position with all of his skirmishers nonetheless, and going to be able to move forwards. Also, Viper killing 1 villager there, I believe. Anyway, MBL getting out elite skirmisher. If he could do what Konkensar did in the other game, that would be incredible if he could corner the army of the Viper. But it doesn't look like that's quite going to happen. Ooh, this could be really, really good for MBL here, as he has this army completely cornered, but you have to remember that the cavalry archers are coming out from MBL right now. Oh, sorry, from the Viper, and he is preparing for a counter-offensive, so these skirmishers need to clean up these archers ASAP, but looks like the Viper are going to be picking off 4 villagers there. And can this TC come up in time? The Viper is not moving into position. That TC is going to be able to hold off most of the pressure on this side, and it looks like the Viper is going to be just a bit too slow, which is really unfortunate. You can see the cavalry archers there getting there mere moments after the TC goes up. Anyway, looks like there was a small scuffle or something somewhere. But anyway, MBL winning on this front side here, taking some very nice fights and going to be able to start to move forwards on his own. MBL also having the military advantage, and encounter is going to be very strong, but just chucking in a few knights is the Viper, and even with minimal pierce armor at the moment, these knights are going to be extremely effective against the skirmishers of the Viper. Oh, sorry, of MBL. So these knights going to be definitely worth putting in there, but not engaging with the full army, not the best decision from the Viper. But anyway, the Viper are going to be producing out of just one stable, right? 2 stables, yeah, and 4 archery ranges. So going to be able to mass units very quickly, and MBL coming for a quick raid here on the back of the Viper's economy. And we have some cavalry archers here coming also over to clean up. And we have some archers, also, sorry, a larger group of cavalry archers here, kind of just threatening to either defend or go on an offensive. We also have the Knights of the Viper getting some more upgrades, so they will be able to clean up these skirmishers, no problem here. MBL not following this up with any cavalry archers, definitely going to be losing those skirmishers there, as the Viper are going to be able to move up and do some damage quite soon. Anyway, MBL finally getting some cavalry archers into position, as the Viper looks like he is about to move around and start to hit the economy of MBL. And you can see these guys kind of in a bit of a standoff, but the Viper securing some of these resources with his TCs. Could definitely be seeing him secure some more wood here, but as I was saying, these woods from the Viper could be the death of him. As you can see, this wood line here running dangerously low could be very, very bad for the Viper if he loses those, and the Viper being caught out of position here could definitely see some damage here. But the Viper having plenty of knights here, going to be quite strong, a bit too tanky for this many cavalry archers to deal with. And as the Viper comes in with the bulk of his army here, MBL suddenly looking to be in a bit of a dicey position. He could pick off all of these gold villagers, which would be very strong. And we're definitely going to be seeing that here, as he splits them into 2 groups so that he can focus fire them down even faster. But the Viper here looking to corner MBL, and MBL taking a very poor fight here as he's microing his way out of this, but the Viper going to be engaging with his knights and cavalry archers simultaneously, and the knights going to be doing a great deal of damage to the cavalry archers of MBL. And the Viper also going to be taking this fight near his own base, and MBL suddenly looking to be in quite a dicey position as he loses that military lead. The Viper is starting to build a villager lead, and it's still, the game could go either way, but the Viper, once he takes another wood, I feel like he'll be in a very strong position here, as the Viper, his real weakness is his insecurity of resources right now. But with the Viper taking map control, that's not going to be a huge issue because he can move anywhere to take those resources. Also, the Viper denying the 4th TC of MBL going to be very strong, and the Viper also on 3 TCs, as MBL is as well at the moment, and that TC also being denied. Might be interesting to see a few knights just put back to help deal with that TC, but for the moment the Viper just going to be camping the military production facilities of MBL, and MBL sensing that the game has come to a close with that 8-35 military lead, Viper taking that game and kind of just blocking MBL's production there after a few bad fights on MBL's behalf. But anyway, that was a very good game from both of these guys. I would have liked to have seen MBL exploit the Viper's poor wood line at the back here. It was just running out there. And if he could have held out for a bit longer, definitely could have had a chance at winning that game. But anyway, GG, well played, and thank you to anyone watching this on YouTube. Let's just have a look at those achievements quickly. But yeah, for anyone watching this on YouTube, you can have a look at my Twitch stream, and likewise for anyone in my Twitch stream right now, you can have a look at my YouTube channel. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this live and or watching this on YouTube. But anyways, GG, well played, and goodbyes to anyone watching this on YouTube.